Hey, let's take it higher. God told me to tell you, child, don't worry, keep it moving. If they walk out and you lose them, you just know that heaven still has your...
Being a wife, a mother of 4, and a full-time working professional can be a lot to handle. You add being a youth minister to the mix, and that plate can tip over. However, my next guest handles it with so much grace and style. Please welcome to the show, youth minister, my sister in Christ, as well as my sister-in-law, Bernie Thomas, to the show.
I came from the hard parts of Chicago, the low-end projects, public housing. I was born and raised in public housing and in a poverty community. I was raised by my grandmother, actually my great-grandmother, and I came from a mom that was on drugs, and dad I didn't know, don't know to the day. Thank God for our Father above, because he will be a father to the fatherless. So needless to say, I struggled financially, I struggled emotionally, I struggled mentally, physically. I had my first child at the age of 16 years old. I wasn't married, so I had minimal to no help from a father figure for my daughter at that time. And by the age of 19, I was pregnant with my second child. So I had graduated high school by that time and had a desire to go to college and pursue a higher education, because that wasn't, relevant in my family. They didn't go to college, they didn't get married, and I wanted to offer something better to my kids. So I still pursued a college degree, which I was able to get by the grace of God. Another part of me, I'm a lover of Jesus Christ. He's a lover of my soul. I love him back. So my overcoming those struggles was through the sovereignty of God, through the grace of God. I didn't have a relationship with him at that time, but it was through his spirit that I was able to continue and complete with good grades. So I wasn't a just made it type of student. I wanted to be an example, not only for my kids, but for other young women that have not made the best choices in their lives as it relates to men, starting families early out of wedlock. There is still hope. It's not over. Your life is not done. It's just the beginning of something great God is going to do. And so that's my message, I have a heart for those young girls that struggled, family dynamics, grew up without a father, mother on drugs, family doing drugs. I was a victim of physical abuse. I was in an abusive relationship physically. And, through the grace of God, I came out from under that alive. A lot of people don't make it out of those situations. So my message is hope and overcoming that. You can do it. Whatever, it may seem impossible. Things may seem too hard. The giants in your life, they may seem like they're impossible and hard to do, but they're not. They're not giants to God. They're giants in our lives, but not to God. And once we release them and give them over to God, that's when he's able to work with them. As long as we try to hold on and do it ourselves, it is a giant and it's too heavy for us. But through God, all things are made possible. It was a point of my life where I was hurting. I didn't have any other options. I had exhausted all of my resources for help, and my heart was broken. And it was at that place where I said, you know what, God, I'm tired. So when you feel like you're at that point where you're tired, you can just call on his name. You don't have to be in church. It happened to me in a car drive on my way to go out on a date with someone I, shouldn't have been with. Whenever you get to that point, it's in your heart when you feel like, you know what, I was tired of giving my body to men, trying to find love in sex, trying to find love in a date, in money, and doing in acts, and people it was at that point I said, I'm tired, God. I need something else. I've tried all of those options. You know, I'm yours. You fix me. You do what you want to do with me. And it was at that time when my life really began to shift. And certain desires I had would just go away. And he had imparted some desires in me to do right. Even when I went to do wrong and I had it was hard for me to keep myself pure even after I had made that confession. But those moments I wanted to go out and have sex, something in me was just like, no, you can't fight this. You can't keep yourself. You don't have to fall into that. So I would just tell the person to cry out to God wherever you are. You don't have to go to church to get that moment. You don't have to, it's in a place of prayer. That was a prayer. I know now. I didn't know then. I was actually praying to God to do something for me that I couldn't do for myself. And until you get that revelation or that aha moment that you're not in control, you're going to continue to live it in your own strength, and it'll be draining. So, and that'll push you closer to him. Yeah.